You had to redo them?
Yeah, we didn't add something in. It's like, oh, go.
Mm,
It was not good.
yeah, yeah. But the thing about it is like, I could understand if they had said, hey, this is how you should do it. Let's teach you how to do the financials that we're expecting you to do, but they don't even tell you how to do it.
Well,
So,
he expects you to know from your accounting classes, I guess.
and that's what we used the exact template that we made. We created like a huge big financial statement for B401, like huge. We worked on it for the whole semester on a startup company. And so it's exactly what you would think it would be, but
So
apparently he didn't like
you
it.
had your balance sheet, your income statement, and
Yep.
your cash flows.
Yep. We had all three of those.
That's what we had on ours.
Yeah. And he didn't like it.
But we didn't use a template. We just made ours up.
Yeah, this template's really good though. I mean, so it's very detailed and really good. And we adjusted it to be like the right for our business that we're making. And he didn't, it just was terrible.
Wow.
So anyway, I don't know if you guys have to take 475, but if you do, good luck with that. Because
That was the one I was sweating last semester.
it's a hard class. Lots of work.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of work. That's the hardest class I've had.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's
This
really
was
tough.
tough, but that one was awful.
Yeah, because not in addition to like the project that you have to do, every week you have like readings and quizzes and then like an additional spreadsheet assignment that you have to do on your own. It's a crap ton of work. It's
Yeah, we
crazy.
had spreadsheets. They were no fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, crazy.
My instructor, he did a template on a spreadsheet for all the quizzes and stuff, and you would have to go in and find things, and he'd have questions, like 30
Yeah.
questions you'd have to answer.
Try something like that.
And then on top of
Best
that,
case, we were good friends, well acquainted.
yeah.
All right now.
And then on top of that, then you have to do all of the business plan. Like it's a lot. So
Crunch Base and Crunch Tech. I spent a lot of time on those sites.
yep. Yep. It's not a fun class. So.
Should I just cut one?
Anyways, let's start talking about Skyhook.
Yay, it's so fun.
I'm so done with these tech companies.
I know.
Can we do a company that makes socks or something?
Right, I know, for real. I have to go back and reread it like 4 times to understand even what they're trying to like what the point is. I mean, I get it. I know we use the technology and I think it's really cool, but I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. So maybe I have a quick question because when I was trying to do my write-up, this was a question and I'm wondering if you guys can help me understand. So they, one of the questions in in like the prep case was, what is the value of the app? Like what, where I wrote it down. What does Skyhook get from access to Apple's customer base? Like what's the advantage for them getting the access to their customer base? Because one of the questions was like, should Skyhook pay Apple for access to its customer base? What do they get by doing that? Like, what's the point of that?
Access to their network.
Like their network is meaning like their Wi-Fi hotspot.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand
Apple
why
network.
that benefits them.
The biggest benefit is they're getting a new somebody to finally see the vision.
Right. Yes, I get that. But why would Skyhook pay Apple though to get access to their customer base?
Well, they're not going to pay them.
I know they're not going to, but why? Why would they?
If they did, why would they?
Yeah, like why? What benefit is that to Skyhook? Like, because they're not using, unless they're using their customers to map their Wi-Fi, like map their Wi-Fi situation. I don't even know how to explain it. Is that why? But
I don't think so because they've already got the states done.
Yeah, they hired all those people from Craigslist.
The only
Right.
thing that would benefit
It talked about it in the case. I'm trying to find it.
that was like I really struggled trying to understand why they would pay Apple. Why wouldn't Apple? I mean, I think Apple should. I know we'll talk about this later, but I know Apple should pay them because it seems like more an advantage for Apple than it does for Skyhook.
Yeah, this is what the case says in the very beginning. It says a deal with Apple could change everything. It would give Skyhook a huge user base and validate the company's concept.
So just basically the fact that it would, so there's no like, because that's what I thought, but then I thought there has to be more to it than what they're just asking.
Yeah,
Right, I think just the prestige.
The validation.
But why would they pay? Why would they pay Apple for that? Just for the validation? Is it worth that much to them?
Because, well, their investors want them to hit a big home run, and they hadn't yet.
Right.
They
But
kept
that just
doing
seems
one-offs, and that didn't impress them.
right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that would be kind of like Microsoft.
It just seems odd to me that they would even consider paying for someone else to use their technology just to get their name out there. It just seems, unless they're using it as like a springboard to move on.
I'm not sure the pay would be the right thing. It would be more of give you this technology for free in the beginning. I think it would be more of that.
More of
Which
that.
would really be in essence paying, but because you're not getting any value out of all your research.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well,
All right.
Yeah, that paragraph, it goes on to say it would break the logjam with other manufacturers who are interested in Skyhook's technology and enable them to develop additional services and recruit application developers to form an ecosystem.
So by essentially giving it away for free, they think to one of the biggest tech companies in the world, they think that giving that away for free would be, or paying for Apple to use it would be worth enough with the extra clients or the extra customers that it would be worth it to them.
Well, I think they were debating if that was an option.
Right.
Yeah.
I would.
It also says though that they have the U.S. mapped, and they had just started mapping. Was it Europe, England, and France?
Right.
But it also says a substantial deal could provide the capital needed to complete the cost-limit critical task of mapping out the world's Wi-Fi access points. So they want to go global.
But that was if Apple paid them. Would they be able to do that? Right? Or just getting the extra exposure?
That extra exposure, breaking that logjam, getting other people to come on board. They're like, oh, wait, Apple has it. It must be good. I want it.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. All right. Yeah. Well,
remember, they had that.
Understand that.
They had that thing going with Microsoft that dropped out at the last minute.
Right.
That would have been, kind of similar. Just really, really awesome for them. And then that petered out.
Did you guys look into Google? Do any research on that?
Into what? How they said that they ended up developing their own phone. The Android phone.
Google was doing the same type of research at the same time. They entered out with their own platform.
The same type of thing using the Wi-Fi?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I thought Google was using the GPS.
That's what I thought too.
No, it's the same type, it's the same base as the way I understood it with my research. And so Skyhook and Google's kind of bumped heads quite a bit. And I think
Google likes to bump heads.
2010, Skyhook signed a deal with Samsung and Motorola. I think it was Motorola. It could have been. But anyway, Google forced them to X the deal. And so there's a big, nasty lawsuit and everything.
With Skyhook and Google?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Skyhook,
was it because Google was still tied to Apple?
Because they more or less forced them not to take the contract or not to honor the contract because Google has control of Android.
Interesting.
Wow.
Well, and I noticed that I read, because I tried to find out what happened, and it looked like they ended up partnering with Apple, but not for very long.
Apple came out with their own, like Apple normally does. Just like Microsoft would have done too.
Right. Right. And I think that was like their biggest.
Lose them and mess them over.
But they had the patents. Did they get those patents?
They did.
On their algorithms?
But those guys know how to go. They got the money to go around a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, you get just one little
to get away. kind of like the latter one that we did in the law class. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
The exit, kind of like that, where they take the product and reconstruct it just out of reach of a suit. But with the exit ladder, they kind of got Ralphed.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work so well for the big company, but it killed the guy. It killed his business by them reverse engineering it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
anyway.
Anyways, so I guess we can start with these questions. What grade would you give Morgan for how he pursued Skyhook and why? I thought he did a good job. Just what grade would you give Morgan for how he pursued Skyhook and why?
I gave him an A.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job.
I thought he did a good job with it.
Yeah.
I liked how he was like total super entrepreneur and like put his family at risk and mortgaged his
He's way ahead of
house.
his time. It's kind of like and that's a lot of the reasons that goes into the lack of the sales on the next question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was so far ahead of everybody else. Vision, they couldn't understand it. And he linked up with the iPhone just in time.
How do you think that he could have, like, what could he have done better then? Like, because he was so good at developing, do you think just educating people better or?
Oh, but they liked the demos.
Were they just scared of the tech? Like,
they just.
I think that was a big part of it is they didn't understand it. He could have maybe explained it a little bit better. I'm looking at one section that says he talked to more than 15 VCs, but most didn't seem to understand the technology.
But what about the technology companies? Like, why weren't they buying?
I don't think that he differentiated the technology enough. I think
differentiate it from the GPS.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's a really good point. They're like, oh, we got GPS, we don't need this.
A lot of it comes down to the lack of understanding they still had, even the tech companies, you know? Because, I mean, he started working on this in 2003? I mean, there was no iPhones then. You had your BlackBerry or whatever, your Blueberry, BlackBerry or whatever.
That's true.
And nobody thought that was going to be outdone, you know?
Right.
iPhone came out and those became paperweight for most people. I think there's still a few people that won't give up their BlackBerry, but for the most part, they want Androids or iPhones now.
Right. Well, that's because they're just so ahead of the technology.
And so, you know, they just couldn't really understand it. I mean, the demos were good. People loved the demos. And he was bluffing a little bit.
Right. I mean, he didn't have his network done when he was selling it.
Right. So that kind of hurt a little bit.
Do you think they found out and that's why maybe they backed out a little bit?
I don't know. I think they were nervous. I mean, they didn't want to be the first they didn't want to be the first guinea pig.
Right.
They want somebody else to be the guinea pig. They could see the value, they just didn't want to be the guinea pig. You know, people kept saying, well, wait until somebody else does it. So that goes into that question you're having with the pre-assignment, you know?
Right.
You know, they want somebody to validate it first before they took a flyer.
Because it was a huge commitment, like financial commitment. What was it Microsoft $300,000 or something?
Yeah, there was going to be $300,000, and then there was going to be additional fees for each unit.
Right. Oh, for each unit?
Yep.
That's nuts.
Oh.
Yep. And an additional fee for every copy of Streets and Trips that shipped with the technology.
So that's a pretty big financial commitment for.
Well, it was millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And a likely multiple year deal too. It wasn't going to be just like let's do it for a million copies or whatever. It'd be like multiple years.
Yeah.
ongoing. Yeah.
And you know, the big rigs, they're going to figure out, well, let's see, how long will it take us to reverse this technology?
Right.
So that's how long of a commitment we're going to make.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, that was the other thing. They were talking about the expenses of those other companies that were trying to do 100 million, 200 million. You know, those big companies that are like, well, shoot, we'd have to build the network, reverse the technology, and it's going to cost us this much. And so, you know, there's all kinds of little guinea binnies.
Do you think that they like these like Apple? Do you think that they just used it while they were developing their own?
Absolutely.
Do you think there was any? Do you think that they maybe bought the technology from Skyhook instead of reinventing the wheel?
They just reverse engineered something close. He claims his is still better than Apple's and Google's.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't track your movements. They don't keep a database where Google will. Google keeps
Right.
tracking everything you do.
So if I have an Apple phone, how do I, because I know that Apple tracks my browser and all of that.
They're
Because that's,
tracking location too.
yeah, and I'm connected to location. So I was thinking when we were reading this case, I'm like, I don't know that I want somebody pinging off my Wi-Fi to figure out where they are. So is there like a sense of like breach in privacy that this software was like? I was thinking about that when I was reading. I'm like, I wonder if.
Well, the federal government's, you know, worried about that, privacy issues.
Right. And so is it a breach of my privacy? Some guy driving down the street picking up my Wi-Fi and be like, oh, there's one there, and this is how we locate this person based on their Wi-Fi signal.
Well, they're pinging cell towers, they're pinging Wi-Fi towers, they're pinging everything.
Right. It's a little crazy.
And they got super duper humongous databases to keep all that information.
Mm-hmm.
Google's the worst of them all by far, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. My husband's cousin works for Google.
They want to track what you do online. That's why they give you the free stuff. You get the free stuff so they can track your spending. They want to create that database so they know where to steer you to.
Yeah.
And who they can sell your information to. And they were claiming they weren't doing it, and then find out they are because some insiders kind of whistleblowers on them.
Right.
And we're going to do better, and baloney. They're doing stuff.
They're just figuring out a way to go around it.
There's lawsuits in like Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're a lot more liberal in Europe than we are over here.
Yeah.
Our government's supposed to protect us, but guess what? Google pays loads of money to the government, Congress and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they got their hooks in Congress. So
yeah.
That's why I don't have a smartphone. And I don't use Chrome exclusively anymore. The last couple of years, I started using different stores.
That's funny.
To do different things.
Okay, so if we go into the next question, talking about I think we kind of talked about it, the different proposed deals, the outcome, and the lessons learned. We kind of talked about all those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got for lesson learned on Microsoft. Quiet is not good, is what I wrote down.
What did you write down?
Quiet is not good.
Oh, yeah.
They signed the contract, get it back, and nothing. What's going on?
Yeah, sure.
Let's learn.
Yeah, they like avoided him.
You're probably not. Something's going on.
Yeah, I wonder what spooked them, because they were all excited about it.
They were excited about it, but they probably figured they got enough information. They figured they could reverse technology it, I'm sure. And so they gave him this just absolutely alternative contract that they knew he wouldn't sign.
Didn't it say in the case that they didn't think that they could reproduce the software because they only had a team of 15 people working on it, and since they were a publicly traded company, it wouldn't be a good idea for them to go down that rabbit hole?
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think it did say that about
It
Microsoft.
did say that, but I don't.
Yeah.
With Microsoft, yeah, ask Mr. Jobs about Microsoft and Windows.
Do you think it was something? So, do you think?
Because Gates totally stole Windows concept when he looked at Jobs' stuff. Jobs more than freely let him look at the stuff.
Well, if you think about it, Microsoft really hasn't gotten into like the cell phone technology aspect. I mean, they're more computers and software type thing. So maybe they just sat back and thought, you know what, this really isn't going to benefit us at the end of the day. And so, because I don't know if they're competing against. They're not even really competing against Apple, but
well, that's probably what happened was, and that's why they did the alternative contract, was because, I mean, they knew they weren't going to accept that deal.
right. It didn't.
They
I
came
don't.
back and it's like, are you kidding me?
I don't see how this technology would have helped Microsoft anyways, other than like on laptops. But
for the best for both of them.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
now, I never did see what the compensation for the proposal for the E911 was.
No,
that
they
was
didn't
putting
go
it
into
on
it.
the ambulances and taxis and
Yeah, but they didn't go into financials with it.
They didn't go into any kind of financial proposal.
yeah, they did.
Like, you know, what the heck? Why do I have a proposal when I didn't see one? I read through the thing about 3 times. I just knew the outcome was the FCC never issued it.
Mm-hmm.
And later on they did, though.
Ethan, what were you going to say about Microsoft?
Huh?
What was I? Oh, I was going to say, so didn't you say something along the lines like you don't know how their technology would have helped Microsoft?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this connects super well, but it did talk a lot about local ads. And
yes.
So I could imagine that like your Microsoft computers, local ads.
Okay.
I don't know if it connects, but it's...
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't understand the local ads aspect. Was that just like if you're on your computer in Phoenix and like the taco shop down the street wants to advertise? Is that what that means?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I guess that would make sense then for Microsoft. Yeah.
Which is like a brilliant concept.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they'd know kind of what your preference was. So when your computer or laptop shows up somewhere else, it's like, hey, look, here's some coupons or a deal or whatever.
Right. So like a restaurant or whatever would pay Skyhook for access to their customer or to like their Wi-Fi. Like, how does that work?
I'm not sure. That seems like privacy type stuff.
Yeah,
too.
see that? Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest reasons why I said no on number 7.
Yeah, I don't know that but you think about it, Google and all of them, they always like partner with ad people based on your browsing history.
Absolutely.
But that's not like infringing. I mean, I guess it's not technically covered by privacy laws. So
I think maybe they ping off of the cell phone towers, not the individual ones. And so when the cell phone towers get the information in, so it's not like it's pinging off of my phone. Like when I'm at work, I get all sorts of stuff about just all the restaurants near Tempe Town Lake. I mean, every business that's there just starts popping up on my Facebook feed and stuff like that.
They special is.
Not that I'm on Facebook at work, but
right. So it's just, you think it's just picking up, like, you know, when I go to Utah or whatever, my computer changes because I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. So you think it just updates
Absolutely
where your location is, and so it would be able to send you advertisements based on where your location
advertising,
was pending?
weather, whatever. They mentioned weather,
Hmm.
things, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
But I just see privacy issues somewhere
Yeah.
down the line that could be bad.
Yeah. So what
I have-
strategy do you, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ethan.
Oh, I was going to say, we didn't really discuss the proposal outcome and lessons learned of Nokia.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With them, like the thing that I got was that they really need to differentiate what they have, because Nokia didn't know like who's going to pay for it, and then they just already spent millions of dollars on that that other GPS system. I don't remember what it's called, Navtech, I think.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
About $1 billion
Yeah.
or whatever they spent on it.
Differentiate themselves better.
That was actually a really stupid move on Nokia's part, though, because they
That was no
crashed
kidding.
and burned right after this.
That was Qualcomm, wasn't it? They spent the money on it. I thought it was Qualcomm that spent the money on the one.
I remember when that happened. It was Qualcomm.
Which was right underneath Nokia.
Well, that's who when they were talking about different options, they were talking about selling to Qualcomm. Nokia went with Navtech. Yeah, you were right. You said they went on Navtech. Yeah.
Nokia did go with Navtech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
$8 billion to acquire Navtech. $8 billion.
And which
That's a lot of money.
where's that on?
It's on page 10.
They could have gotten Skyhook a lot cheaper.
And it was GPS too. Nokia didn't last very long. That was like,
No,
It really didn't.
they tanked right after this case study.
yeah.
It was about
Probably because they
2000
spent $8 billion on a technology.
right.
Jeez.
Yeah, I circled underneath. Dang it. Okay.
Oh, that is crazy.
Jeez, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, when was this, 2007 or something? Yeah, Nokia didn't.
That's a lot of zeros.
So they had those little flip phones for like 2 years, but then you never heard about them ever.
No. What were they, like the Razors? Was that a Nokia? Yeah.
Everybody wanted the Razor.
Everybody wanted the Razor.
Before that, they were all the bricks.
The bricks, yeah, we had the bricks. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing with Nokia is iPhone kind of.
Oh, yeah. Once the iPhone and then once Google and Android released their phones, like pretty much anything else is dead in the water. I mean, there are still
Yeah,
a
Nokia
handful.
and Motorola. Nokia and Motorola were big before that, and now they're just.
Yeah.
I got my LG slider. I still got it. The whole family's got the same phone.
That's funny.
Well, actually, my daughter did buy iPhone 6 or something, 6 Plus or something like that.
I actually went and got my daughter, not a flip phone, but remember the old Sidekick?
Yes.
Where it has a little screen that pops up? I got her one of those for when she's grounded. I put her SIM card in there. She's like, Mom, really?
That is awesome. That is so funny. That is a great punishment. Here, welcome back to the 1990s. Take that. I guess not even 90s.
You can still get a hold of me, but
you should get her the watch that she can only call like 4 numbers that like the 5-year-olds have. Here, you really want to mess with me?
It's funny because the last time she was grounded, I was like, okay, I don't want to do all this. So I called T-Mobile and I set it up to where I could block the numbers that she's able to call and can call her.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 weeks before she even realized that anything was blocked because it doesn't block text messages. I was like, really?
Dang it. Oh, that's funny. That's good.
Anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
Sorry. Side trail there.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's go through this and vote. Which strategy do you think that they should do? I vote persevere.
That was
Yeah, he's in it for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
If he sells it right now, he's not going to get what he put into it.
Yeah.
That's what I got. Selling the company, they haven't reached valuation yet
No.
because people haven't figured out the benefit.
Right.
There's still a lack of understanding, and in the local ads, I worry about the privacy issues, and it kind of seems a little bit small time. I mean, it seemed like you're chasing a bunch of little contracts or whatever, a whole bunch of contracts. You know, let's do
What
it
do you
on
think, Ethan and Dallin?
I put stay with it. Yeah.
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 Obviously, it's a pretty revolutionary idea, and I think it just, like Rex said, it just hasn't hit its time yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when you look at Exhibit 8, that's a pretty good exhibit. I think I'm going to do my calculations off that exhibit because it's kind of cool. I mean, the first funding round, they got the $1.8 million, and the company was valuated at 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
The next funding round, they do about $6.5 million, and the company's only evaluated at $7 million.
Yeah.
Like, what happened there? We went from being valued at 4.5 now 3. Well, that was free. Okay, that's a little bit better. Still, that's not a whole lot of grade from 4.5 to 7. Not the big jump that they did there, but the next jump, the Series C round, holy smokes! They went from.
I can't believe they raised that much capital with no sales. That was pretty impressive.
Well, people were starting to figure it out, the things, and the demos I think will work, and just nobody wanted to jump for it yet.
Yeah.
But
I still don't understand that, but
that's why I say, you stick it out, is because look at the valuation.
Yeah.
And the people are starting to see it. So, and they were getting good investors too. If you look at these, it was Bain Capital and Intel Capital. That's pretty good. RRE Ventures. But the two big ones are Bain and Intel.
Yeah. I liked how when they were trying to figure out if they should invest, how they asked him what hotel they were staying in, and he said the La Quinta. I thought that was really cool. I'm like, you can totally tell this guy like really wants to like put, and they had what, like 6 to 8 months worth of working capital still in the bank. So they didn't need a deal, or they didn't need money. So
and he could have stretched it out further too.
He could have, yeah. And I thought that was, he's like, without even cutting any people. Like, what more can you do? Like, how? I mean, he said like 50 to 60% he could cut his costs.
Well, without cutting vital.
Without cutting vital people, which I thought was crazy. I mean, he is good. He's good. I read the bios of the current team, and he's not working there anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
He probably took a really nice payday and checked out.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't, he didn't build the company for the love of it. He wanted to be a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
He quoted himself as being the financial black sheep of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he just wanted to kind of measure up to what his siblings had done.
And father.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But yeah, the La Quinta, that one stood out to me too.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, what about?
So he's like, hey, what hotel you stayed at?
What about when they were they put their office in the attic of their friend's house, and they were using like a pan or something as an antenna for Wi-Fi?
Yeah. They were stealing they were borrowing the Wi-Fi
up in the attic.
So crazy. I mean, they really did, like, they really put the gun to the metal and just gosh.
Oh, it was a wok that they were using as an antenna. Like, who would do that? Who would think of that?
So cheap. I love it.
I think my mom would get along really well with them. She actually puts a bucket in her shower that she takes after she's done with her shower. She takes it out to water her garden.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
My in-laws,
Wow.
they buy like skim milk and 2% milk, and then they mix the two, so they save like 15 cents a gallon.
Yeah. Hey, we never got the 2%. We just got powdered milk.
Oh my
But the
gosh.
guy's a multi-millionaire, and he was a school teacher, so hey,
Ew. Wow.
he's done something right.
That's your in-laws that mix the milk. They're multimillionaires?
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah. He taught for 44 years in California.
Taught what?
School, high school.
Like, and he's a multimillionaire?
Oh yeah.
How? Stock market?
No, and financial investments and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I mean, if there was Saturday detention, after school detention, cleaning the stadium, cleaning the basketball gym, you name it.
Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
That's what they did.
Thank you.
So he's like the millionaire next door. Did you guys ever read that book?
Right. It's one that you'd never know.
The one you'd never know. That is awesome. That's really cool.
But then, I mean, just made some wise investments and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
He's got property I probably don't know about.
Nice.
But I mean, they had like my wife said they had a freezer, that they had to stick a stick underneath the handle to keep the door shut.
God, we had that for a dryer. It was a dryer stick. We had it for probably about 15 years.
They bought their house for $13,000 when they moved to California way back when, and
Shoot.
kept the same house. They didn't remodel until the kids had left, and they remodeled. But he
The
walked.
house is probably worth $1 million now.
He walked to work each day. Her mom worked for the school district too, so
Wow.
very frugal.
That's cool.
But yeah, when she said they save 15 cents a gallon or something like that, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's just the way they are.
That's funny.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And then he gives his kids, bails us out when we need cash or whatever.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Okay,
gosh.
so let's move on and talk about like what would we do our agenda for Steve Jobs?
Yeah. I think Ethan, we need an invite again. His computer just randomly
I know,
turned
does he
off.
need me to re-invite him, or let me ask him.
I think he can just go into his like Google thing, and then it'll say like the Hangout is still open.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
But then again, I don't know how it works on his computer. That's how it works on mine.
He might just want to go back to bed.
Negotiate.
Yeah, probably.
So what's our best alternative?
Oh, is that what it is? Oops.
Agreement?
What does BATNA stand for?
Best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So what's the next best thing that you would do? I'm not sure if I guess that would be maybe pay to play, pay Apple instead. But I still don't like that idea.
No.
I wish we could find out I tried to find what they actually did, but they didn't disclose the deal.
The deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Just know I know it was a multi-year contract, and I watched the interview he gave, and
So did Apple end up paying them?
yes,
Yeah.
and it was per device. They made money per device, but he would not say how much.
Right.
So I guess maybe the BATNA would be a lump sum instead of per device. Lump sum payment.
Just like a one-time, you pay us this amount, and then you can use our technology.
Or even, X amount per year.
Yeah. But oh man, I don't know.
I think that's, I mean, that's way better than paying them for the technology. I mean, now that we've talked about it, I understand why they would maybe do that, but I mean, I wonder how much Apple would require them to pay.
I don't know.
Probably not. Like I said, it'd probably be more like a free.
Like a free, yeah.
Free deal.
Yeah, let's just look at
He's back.
We're just talking about the BATNA, what we would propose to Steve Jobs.
And while you were gone, we found out that means the best alternative, what? Something.
Negotiated
agreement. It's you could have found it in the little extra supplement they gave us.
Was that for this week or next week?
That was for this week.
Oh.
But I figured I'm going to use it for next week because I want to be a heck of a negotiator.
I am not looking forward to that. I'm just telling you right now. When he sent the teams, I was like, dang it, I was hoping he'd mix it. Not that I don't love being on Dallin's team, but being against Rex is really tough.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine the two of you on the same team. I'm sorry. That must be SOL.
I was like, oh man, gosh. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, this is scary.
Look how easy on you.
Oh, will you? I'm sure you will. Rex probably won't. He's gonna be like, guns blazing.
Here you go against those green mountain coffee roasters.
Oh man. Okay, so back to.
Okay, so what are Jobs' interests?
Man, I think he just wants access to the technology.
Yeah. He knows that
something about it. He always wants the best product for his customers.
And he would be the first one to use it. So first, I mean, you figure Apple has been first to everything for so long. They're so ahead of the curve that this is just one more thing that they can like.
He's got phenomenal vision.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, he came out with the Windows-based type operating system, and then Gates stole that from him, and he was more than willing to show Gates all the stuff. And they still have the best system for graphics and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Windows is trying to take that away from them. I don't know if you guys have noticed all the commercials lately about like the Surface, the Windows Surface book, and how they're like trying to compete with Apple on the graphics thing. But
yep.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting. Okay, why did he call us?
Because he wanted the technology.
Yeah.
He wanted to get into his head.
Well,
you think that's what it was?
No, I'm joking. Maybe it is.
He's seeing the value of how important location would be. Location technology would be. It's kind of the way I took it from reading. Seeing that was kind of the future. Like you said, he's always kind of a step ahead of everybody else. So.
Do you think it was just a way for him to get the technology while he was developing it behind scenes? Like maybe they were working on it already?
I'm sure that they were. That's the only thing that makes sense with me.
Yeah.
Pretty low.
Yep.
But Apple's kind of been that way, though. They're always like, everything I've heard about or read about Steve Jobs is he's kind of like that shady guy behind the, like, always doing.
No, that's Bill Gates. Oh.
Is it?
Gates definitely took the technology from Apple's Windows.
Okay.
Yeah. Jobs showed him the stuff, and he's like, oh, that's really good. That looks like the future. Then he went back and reversed to design something similar and came out with Windows 95.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
But,
yeah.
He also, bought a product and sold it as his own.
Yeah.
we went to Intel and said, "Oh yeah, I got a product." Down the street, purchased it, and then turned around and sold that for millions. Product you purchased for what, $5,000 or something like that.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know.
I mean,
Jobs
they
is just
both
way ahead
they
of his
both can
time.
see. They both have very good vision.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you kind of end up a little bit shady because you can say, "Oh, I can see where that would be valuable. Let's get into it now, quick, fast, and in a hurry before it becomes very valuable."
Right.
You know?
Maybe they thought that if they could get in first, that they would get the best deal for it too, instead of, hey, if Microsoft signs on or Yahoo or whatever, then the price obviously goes up.
And he could see the value and how that would help his iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would be really good to have for my iPhone. We got GPS. That costs about, what did they say, $5 or something like that, $3 to $5 a chip.
Yeah.
So he had that. He knew that. This would be indoors. You know,
Right.
he's got the little phone locators. You know, you tell your phone, it's like, "Hey, I lost my phone. Let's see." You know, this is the same technology that locates your phone for you.
You can try it. But I want a little piece of it to try it.
I want some too.
I'll send you a piece. Have you guys seen? It's the new caramel Hershey bar. It's like Hershey Gold.
Ooh,
I don't know. It has like
Sounds pretty good.
nuts and like pretzels in it, and so it's sitting on the counter, and my husband's taking it. But I told him I wanted a piece of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so how big is this opportunity for Skyhook? I mean, we've already kind of talked about that.
Yeah, it is. That's a huge opportunity.
Totally.
I could put really big. It could start the snowball effect
Mm-hmm.
of all the other people.
Yeah. Everybody that was on the fence before will like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ethan.
Oh, I kind of think it's bigger for Skyhook than it is for Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it'll help them with all those people that are sitting on the fence.
Apple, it's another plug to their already wildly crazy iPhone. You know, something else they can put on it. But for these guys, it's like, "Hey, we're finally scored. We scored the big account."
Yeah.
Take that to the bank.
Yes.
Yep, for sure. All right. Well, that just about wraps that up. So next week we only have the one case study. Do we just want to meet on Thursday then?
Yeah, that way we can meet amongst ourselves.
To negotiate.
Yeah, to negotiate on Thursday. So I guess in your individual groups, you guys can decide when you want to meet. Dallin, we can.
Tell us our groups already.
He did. You and I are on a team.
Me and you again, Jordan?
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
This is last time.
Yes.
Score.
Right? I know. So it's the two of us against the three meanies.
All right.
The big bears.
Second time's a charm.
Right?
You guys want to meet next Tuesday, same time as we normally meet?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dallin, do you want to meet?
Same time.
Whenever it works for you, honestly.
I'm open. The only time I can is Wednesday morning, but other than that, this is my only group.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because
Saturday, right?
Basically every day, but
Okay.
yeah, we can figure it out though. Like,
Okay, that's
I
fine.
can even do it after work at like 11 or 12 or anything. 'Cause we're on the same time zone now, aren't we?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So just let me know what works for you. I'm pretty open. This is my only group left now.
Okay.
The last one standing.
Well, I have one more on next Wednesday, but it's easy. So.
Okay. You know what? I can tell you right now when I'm good. Just got my schedule.
Perfect.
Okay. So